In this video, I'm going to compare Djay Pro for the iPad side by side with Djay Pro for the Android, see which features you could do on each one, which features are missing from which device, and which one's an overall better device to DJ with. And then I'm also going to plug in a controller and see how we can map controllers and how it responds. In this video, I am using this Android tablet that I just got. This is the Galaxy Tab A9, and it does operate the app pretty smoothly, so it should be a semi-fair comparison. Obviously, this is a much more expensive device than the Android, but let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is going to be up here with the view modes. So if you press this middle button up here, we are going to access our view modes. So the biggest difference is going to be that Djay Pro has a lot more view modes, and more importantly, it has the Pro view mode, which is the best view mode, and that's really the only view mode that I use when I'm using Djay Pro on the iPad. With the app for Android, all we get is Starter, Classic, and Auto Mix. Starter, it's very simple, so I'm not going to compare it. They're both exactly the same. So this comparison is going to be in Classic because Auto Mix looked exactly the same and operated exactly the same on both. So you're going to miss some view modes. So if you like Pro view mode, if you like doing a lot of things at the same time and seeing more things, then you may want the iPad, but you could still DJ great on the Android in classic mode. So we're going to do the rest of the comparison in classic mode. All right, so the first thing I want to do is test the jog wheels, how the jog wheels respond. So now I am going to hold this in to access our scratch tool. So when you hold in the music select button on the iPad, we have eject, scratch, Shazam. Doesn't look like we have Shazam for the Android, but honestly, I've never used that feature, and I don't think anyone does. So I'm going to load up my scratch tool, and you can do double. Pretty much the same, just looks a little bit different. So here we have the same scratch tool on both devices. So let's see how easy or hard it is to scratch. So don't judge me, but I'm going to try to do a touchscreen only scratch on both. So they both respond about the same. Obviously, this one isn't as responsive because this is a more entry-level device, and this is the iPad Pro. But it's going to be the same thing. You could scratch with both. You could do what you have to do, and it does work really well. Next, we are going to open up some of the features on the top here. So the first one is going to be our mixer section on both. Pretty much actually exactly the same. We could open up our EQs here. Now we have Neural Mix EQ, Neural Mix Crossfader, and Equalizer. On the Android device, we don't get the Neural Mix Crossfader, which is a really cool feature for doing mashups and stuff like that. It's one of my favorite ways to use the Neural Mix, but with the Android device, we just get the Neural Mix EQ, which is good, which is a cool way to mix the tracks instead of using lows, mids, and highs. Mix them by using a Neural Mix EQ. So we still get that. We don't get the new Neural Mix Crossfader, but not the biggest deal. You could still do what you want to do with Neural Mix. We got our filters here. So pretty much the same. The Android device is contending. We did find one feature that we don't have. Waveforms. So I'm going to play the same track without any audio so it's not annoying, just to see how the waveforms react. So pretty much the same on the Android. We do get beautiful views of our waveforms. The brightness is a little bit different, and the screens are different, obviously, so it looks kind of like different colors, but they are nice and detailed, and you can do what you got to do. Now let's open up our hidden drop-down menu here by the 2 and the 1 and see what we could do. So now we could put on high contrast, which I have on over here, but we don't have slice, we don't have skip, and we can't see our Neural Mix stems in the waveform. So not the biggest deal, but it is pretty cool to see the Neural Mix stems. I never use slice and skip, but some people may. So that is another drawback of the Android, but definitely not a deal breaker, especially for me. Here we have our looper and our sampler. So for me, my favorite way to use the looper and the sampler is in Pro mode, because now we have this whole view and we could use all of these features. But now with the Android, we're going to have to stay in classic mode. So we just get this section in the middle. Let's see if it's the same packs. Seems like we could get all of the sampler packs, which is good. They work really good. We can edit them like that. We get the looper pretty much exactly the same. So I'm just going to leave the waveforms open for the rest of this. Now let's see some other features. So we could open up a drop-down menu on our BPM drop-down menu. So on the iPad, you could tap in the BPM manually. I honestly never did that. Both in tempo. So we could adjust the range of our tempos. We have the same adjustments there, just a different way how to do it. We could inverse our crossfader. We could edit the BPM. So yeah, we could tap on both. I was just in tempo. So it looks really good, exactly the same. So if you only have an Android device and you don't have an iPad, you may want to just consider keeping it and not upgrading. Let's see what else is a drawback. We have our BPM slider. We have our key lock. Go a little bit forward, go a little bit back. We got loop and we have sync. So that's the same. Down here, we have this feature. This is a Neuro Mix feature. We could instantly isolate the vocals or instantly make it an instrumental. Let's open that over here so that we have the same thing. And then we have the new features where we could change this to be whatever we want. We have effects and then we have skip. So that's cool that they kept it there. And we could put the mute effects on, which is really cool. We have our set and our cue. If we get rid of that feature, both exactly the same. Play button reacts exactly the same. These arms are active. So now let's open up some features. So to get to your features in this view mode, what you're going to do is press this little, it looks kind of like a mixer section. And now we get all of our features. But the thing is, we lose our jog wheel. Yeah, you could use these waveforms as a regular jog wheel. But in Pro mode for the iPad, we have all these features here, and then we have these little jog wheels. So again, you get to do more stuff at the same time and see more stuff, which is very important for DJing. But we could still make it work in classic mode. So let's go from left to right. So Neuro Mix looks exactly the same. We could isolate them and that. And I've tested out the Neuro Mix, and it does sound exactly the same on each device. It's the same quality, which is good. We could do 2 to 4 bands, bass and melodic, exactly the same. Now switching over to cue points. We got a cue point there, cue point there, cue point there. So you could set your cue points wherever you want. Works fine on both devices. Press the drop-down menu. You could change the color and the name on the iPad. Can you do that on here? Yeah, you can change the name and the color. So that's really cool. Not sure if it shows up on the RGB controller, but I think it should. Pitch cue, same. Skip, slice, exactly the same. And you can set your auto mix points, auto loops, bounce, saved. Same thing here. FX. So let's go to manual. You could have 3 effects on both of them at the same time. Let me press this in. Seems like we have the same amount of effects, and we could route them to the Neuro Mix stems down here, which is a cool feature. I'm glad we could do that for the iPad. We have the pad effects, and then we have instant effects, exactly the same. EQ. EQs are exactly the same. And one big difference is most Android devices are going to have an audio cable, so you could plug an audio cable directly in. I wish we could still do that with the iPad, but we're not going to be able to. So now let's so minus a couple features, a couple view modes, it was pretty much exactly the same. Just missing a couple of features and those view modes, which to me, the view modes would make a big difference, but some people, if you're used to classic mode, you could still do a lot in classic mode. So let's plug in this controller and let's see how we could connect them. So plug in the controller, and there's a much smaller list from Android to iOS with the controllers. So out of all my controllers, this was the only one that they say works with it. So now I am going to connect it on the iPad. So you press the middle button, go right here, and then connect the Bluetooth controller right there. Connected just like that. Really easy to connect. Works perfectly. No latency on the Bluetooth controller. Now let me try to connect it to the Android. Not sure if I could do two devices at the same time, but let's see. All right, so I can't do two different devices at the same time, but I had a feeling that I wouldn't be able to do that. So let me go back. So the controller is connected, and then now with the app for the iPad, we could go to MIDI devices in our settings, and then we could find our controller, and then we can map any button or knob just like that. So that's what the mapping looks like for the iPad. So now let me disconnect it from my iPad, connect it into my Android device, and see if it's the same, see if we can map and everything. Go to MIDI, connect Bluetooth controller, DJ control mix, connected, go back. So connects really easily, no latency at all. So now let's see if we can map it. We'll go to MIDI. So it doesn't look like you can map controllers for the Android, but you could use the pre-map controllers like that. That's probably why there's a much smaller list, because you could pretty much plug in any controller into an iPad with USB-C and then custom map it. So my final thoughts are, Djay Pro is an amazing app. It's great on the Android. It's a little bit limited with features and view modes, but you could do everything that you need to do to professional DJ. So if you already have a decent one, it might not be necessary to upgrade to the iPad. So let me know your opinion in the comments, and watch this video for my full beginner tutorial for DJing on the iPad.